Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Richard, aka Crypto Loaners, and I want to make a video on the config pool that's part of backtesting and your configuration. It's a really powerful thing that I think a lot of people don't use, including myself. So it's something I want to start using more and more. Basically, what the config pool does, and if you click on config, you see this thing that says config pools. It allows you to make a configuration for each coin that you use, so that if you're running a strategy, and we'll go to the dashboard. Right now I actually have my buy turned off right now because Bitcoin, if you look here, is on the way up. It spiked a bit today, 7.58%, and since I'm doing trades in coin pairs based on BTC, those other coin pairs would have to go up in order for me to actually do anything good to make a profit on it right now. So it's almost better to just hodl Bitcoin and wait and just make sure everything flattens out and stabilizes a bit before going through that trade. So I'm gonna kind of just leave my buy off, and I'll let these sell. And just real quickly to show you where I am with some of these positions, I still have the NEO and ADA that Crypto Growth had me purchase with those signals. Some of the other signals that I had previously sold, and I'll show you that in a bit. I think we'll take a look at my stats. GVT was a manual buy I did, and these last three were strategies that started being picked up as BTC spiked. So while these would have been up if BTC hadn't spiked, they're currently down due to the spike. Hopefully they will recover, and I'll be fine with that. But for now, I've got my stuff turned off. Anyway, right now, my current strategy, and I'll show you some of that later, is I'm using B bands and RSI. But if we looked at EOS, which I have a different strategy for that specific coin, it just says B bands. So what you can do, and we'll go to backtesting, and I'll kind of do this live and just make a random, I'll pick a random coin, WTC. Oh, actually, sorry, let's do, I'll load my existing config just so that it makes it easy. We'll select WTC. So this is my normal base config that I normally run when you hit load existing configuration. If you don't have a config specific to this coin already, that is. And I'll hit start backtest just to see what my current configuration would do. So my current config would do 3.96%. Let's just say I make a couple, and no sales with a loss, so that's good. Let's say I change that to a 1.5 and we rerun this backtest. So that actually caused a problem. That went in a negative direction for me. So let's go 0.75 again. What was that number? 3.96%. Let's try that just to see if I can create, oh, actually one of the other things I'll do, maybe I'll change that to a 15-minute candle instead of a 30-minute candle. So that actually, for this particular coin, oof, oh, it went negative 5.72. I thought that made it go better. It went way worse. Let's try 5 minutes. I'm actually trying to, I'm looking to see if there's a way I can find a better system than my current setting for this specific coin. If we look at showing our strategy here, let's remove Bollinger from this. We'll just do RSI. So there's a whole lot of buys there. It's like a crazy amount of buys at 7.49%. And there's some losses in there also. Let's say I like this as a thing. I don't know if I will like it. I might experiment with it. We'll see what happens. But it's giving a better percentage than my current profit at that rate. You know what? Before I deploy this, let's try 15, because 5 is just so frequent. That's it's almost like you're asking for it. Oof. 5 was apparently better with this coin. And let's go 30. No, you know what? Okay. And I kind of picked WTC because I know that that one fluctuates quite a bit. So it's very possible that with WTC, with RSI using these particular settings, that may be the way to go. 7.49. Let's change it to 30% oversold. Actually, wasn't as good. And just to see, let's try 20, which is the default, and that was 5%. But let's see. Yeah, still had some losses there too. All right, 35 it is. You know what? Let's go 40 just to see if we go up, what that looks like. It's still about the same, so I'll stick with 35. And very important to say that, if we look up here, it usually says something about past performance does not guarantee future results. Super important to realize that when you're messing with this. Let me hit it one more time just to make sure that that was the last thing I ran. So we hit deploy this configuration, and you say yes. If we now go to the configuration and we look at the config pool, we'll now see this is deployed. So from now on, when my strategies run, it'll run the default strategy for everything else except for WEOS and WTC. So if you wanted to create different strategies for different coins, which probably recommended, try it out, test it out, see how it works. This is the way to do it, basically. So it's a very powerful piece that you can use in Cryptohopper that I think a lot of people aren't really looking at or using. At least, like I said, I know I wasn't previously, and it's something I'm going to try using more often now. I almost forgot to go over my actual trade history here to show you guys how I'm performing. So I've been focused more on like micro trading, really, with a lot of my strategies, so that I can kind of get in and get out quickly. These are a little low because those were from today, where I've been kind of just, like I said before, like today is an interesting day of trading, just from a perspective of Bitcoin finally going up and trading in a Bitcoin pair. Tethered trading might actually work out for you. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, I just don't have money in Tether to do any pair trading with. So just looking at my percentages here, they're small percentages mostly, but and most of these are 213 as we scroll through. So I did a lot of buying and selling yesterday. Like, my strategy is actually done pretty well for the most part, I'd say, on very small percentages. One important thing, and this one actually almost might point this out, but one important thing, and again, this is all from yesterday, that I noticed with the TSL is that it does not always do what you think it should do. Where I cross my arm, like I cross the arming level of the TSL, and the coin drops down to where it should trigger a sale, but it doesn't. And I've seen it happen multiple times where it just does not sell where it should, and it seems to wait. I don't know what causes that. I don't know if it didn't update the ARM to the higher rate at that point, and so it still has the older rate, and it's going to sell at a lower level, or whatever the case may be. But something I think in Cryptohopper is a little slow when it comes to TSL, and it doesn't always sell where it should, which sometimes causes even an ARM TSL to sell at a slight loss, or a lower rate than what it should be. Like, there are definitely percentages that I should be selling at much higher, and it's selling a lot lower, and that's a bit of an issue. And I'm going to address that with them, and who knows, maybe we'll get something resolved with it. It may just be that, like I said, maybe Cryptohopper is just low, and it may be something that is just unresolvable. We'll see. Just want to point that out to you guys. Oh, and my actual config that I'm using right now, just to show you that. And I've said in other videos, you guys should probably do your own research on things, just so that you don't completely just use mine. Find something that works for you, that you're comfortable with. But here's my setup. My candle size is at 30. I'm doing both RSI and Bollinger Bands. My RSI, I have my oversold at 35, and everything else is at default. And Bollinger Bands I have set at 15 using the MAMA type, moving average type. So, yep, there we go. Thank you guys for checking the video out. Like, subscribe, leave any comments, feedback, whatever you might want to do. Thank you very much for checking out the video.